Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks, and this is kind of a convention vlog, and it's also kind of a vlog. I mean, I'm only really recording one steady take of recapping from half of a convention. So it's all over the place. Yes, clearly. Basically, this is me after now leaving for Saturday of the weekend-long convention. Just trying to reflect on things, whether or not it's going to improve through Sunday or what have you, but now we're more than halfway through. I already have the idea of where it's going. So, this is the Greenberg Train and Toy Show in 2021 in August, or August 13 was the setup day, but public days were 14th and 15th in Edison, New Jersey. Classic venue for me. This is a venue that I have been to many times in New Jersey with Garden State Lego User Group. And this was actually the first convention venue for me personally. In November of 2014, after joining Garden Slug, I was there. I mostly was just helping other people set up mocks because I didn't have a lot to bring to the convention itself. I brought like one small thing that added into a larger layout, so I was okay with that. I was like, this is cool. It felt good just to be in the environment of it. Having already gone to a couple of conventions in 2013 and through 2014, which I had no idea about before and had already been going for quite some time. So I'm like, yeah, I want to be involved with that. I would love to meet other people and display and hopefully try to build more stuff with it too. So that was cool. And this show, yes, it's technically not really Lego. It's not a big Lego convention. It's not really Lego at all outside of us. Just a handful of, things on other people's tables, mostly as vendors, not even as displayers. But we get in because of the loophole of trains. Or at least that's my understanding of it. I could be completely wrong. But that's how I've factored it in my head, where I'm like, wait, this is a train hobby show. Everybody in here either has a certain scale of model train layout, or they're a vendor that has train accessories and tracks and all that stuff. So how do we here? Well, train and toy, Lego, it's a toy, sure, but there aren't a lot of other toy-based tables that don't involve trains. There are some toy train tables, I'll tell you that. I've seen one or two vendors over the years with that. But we're basically on the other side of it, and literally on the other side of the convention. Usually, it's on another, like one of the wings of the convention. But it's also nice because we do get featured in the announcements every so often that they'll talk about the Lego display and where it is. So that's cool. And yeah, we do have actually a couple of trains that are set up going around a couple of tables, and then we have a whole bunch of extra table space open so that we could use it for other people's builds. So that's worked for many years, and I'm glad. And I'm glad it's been running for many years, even sometimes multiple times per year. So it's a great show. It's simple, it's down to earth, it's not Lego focused, but it's fine. It's still a fun experience. There are still adults and kids that will enjoy the Lego aspect of it. Every time, and even today. So, when I was setting up on Friday, I don't know if every vlog has to be, you have to film it in the moment and then compile it all together. This is me recapping. This is what this vlog particularly is about. Brick Fair, Virginia, I have a whole lot to edit with that one, which is filming in the moment, but I'm trying to do something different here. With Friday, I had a couple of hours that I could set up, and my setup isn't really that complicated. I don't have anything large. I don't have anything that needs to fit together in particular ways every time I bring it out. It's more of like it all stays together, and there are segmented boxes with one or two of them together, sometimes three. Some parts fall off, but that's the nature of Lego. It's fine, and it's easy to put back on. Some things I might have to repair where it takes a little more heat, a little more damage, just in travel, and I make the best out of that. But overall, it's like, it takes me minutes, not even. it feels like less than minutes of setting everything up. It's just unbox it, put it on the table, and put a cart next to it. Whereas I know plenty of other people, they do have larger displays, and that's fine. It's all good. I'm glad we have a large variety of stuff every time, and different people that are part of it every time. I also did help with setting up the actual tablecloths and the stanchions around our area, so, more for the entire group. But when I was there yesterday, Friday, I thought there's a few things I might like to bring. Like, I'm not worried I didn't pack them or anything, but would still be good to have with what I have. But if I don't find them in time, like when I come back, later, like when I come back home Friday night, if I can't find them before I leave back on Saturday, it's fine. I can deal with it. And I did. So all the things that I wanted to bring that I didn't bring at first, I could not find, which wasn't that many. I'm not worried I didn't bring any new mocks. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But of the mocks that I brought, I did want to have the actual Expedition Balloon 5956 from LEGO Adventurers. I wanted to have the actual set next to the microscale version because I thought this is easy to pass up as a model if it doesn't have the balloon with it. And some people don't know the set or don't remember the set, so having the balloon makes more sense out of it, where it's like, oh, you made a small version of this thing. Because I've had a few times during the show today, at Saturday, where I just showed people a picture from my phone of what the real set looked like, and giving a sense of scale with it, looking at the minifigs, or how it can fit all the pieces in the set inside of the balloon itself. But anyways, I could not find that in time. I looked constantly. For hours, I was looking last night, every corner of the house that I can think of. I knew what box it was in, but it was where the box in the house was. If it was in the house or if it was in the storage shed in the back. If it was in another storage shed in the back. Like, I really pulled through everything, and I'm like, it's not turning up, and it's 2 a.m., and I gotta go to bed. So, unfortunately for this show, I did not bring it with me. I didn't have it at the previous show with Brick Fair Virginia, which was its debut, but I'll make do with it. I'm like, well, it's still cool to see here, and it still shows, the variety of stuff that I build. I'm not going to take it off of the table because I don't have the real set to work with. That's fine. So anyways, from there, I had another thing I was trying to look for, which I don't think would have been as complicated because it just had it at Brick Fair Virginia, and that was my name tag, my brick badge. Now, I'd already, basically, if you didn't see any of the Brick Fair stuff, or if I didn't talk about it on there, basically, I had a brick badge for years and years and years, customizing it for every show, updating it over time so it can stay together well, without actually gluing pieces, sometimes making a theme out of it, but for the most part, yeah. There was one I always brought to shows, and I don't know where it is. I haven't seen it since the last time I used it at Brick Fair, Alabama, which was in 2020, over a year ago, almost a year and a half ago. So I don't know where it is, and Brick Fair Virginia, I'm like, all right, I'll just use a new one. They already give you enough parts in the exhibitor bags. Even if I went to these shows constantly, I'm still going to be able to make a brick badge out of it if I, so needed to. Well, that one went missing too. Because I could have sworn I put that back with everything I brought to Brick Fair Virginia. I thought, hey, this is a show thing. It needs to go with the show stuff. And yet it didn't. Either that or it's in another place that I forgot that I put it in, but it's still not buried anywhere. I don't think it really went that far inside of a few weeks from coming back from Virginia, so, but you never know. So anyways, yeah, I was going to bring that for the show, and I didn't. And there was only one time that I had to introduce myself, and even then, I had the mock cards from Virginia, and I know that, well, then again, I put the mock cards with the mocks themselves when I packed them away, whereas the brick badge, it would have been a separate thing. So anyways, the mark cards would help if, like, they needed to see my name or whatever. It's like, okay, you're Joey. Made sense. But, so, about the show itself. So, yes, this is after the Saturday show. Yes, there is still another day. I guarantee there will be another, like, thing that happens that didn't happen today. Whether or not I make a video about it, but I still want to reflect on this already as it was. Already, I have a handful of things for a lower scale show that should have been there. That should have been prepared and need to work on that. I honestly believe that even for Brick Fair Virginia, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things I underprepared, but, the Brick Badge was still a thing that was missing then. So, even having the new one now, I shouldn't have an excuse, but here we are. I would say I need to put the Brick Badge in the box itself. Not a separate box, not a bag or something like I've done before. It needs to be with one of those mocks in the box. If it's going to the show, it's gotta go to the show. So, yeah, I'll definitely have to figure that out later. And hopefully find the other one, the previous one, because that one had a whole lot of stuff, a whole bunch of previous shows that I'd been to. A couple of custom printed tiles, that's all very important stuff. I found like one or two of them that just turned up out of the blue. It was one that had my profile picture, Maniac for Bricks, and it was on a printed 2x8 brick. I remember getting it at one of the shows, but I don't remember why. I don't remember why it was made that way. Especially when most of them are made 1x8s. So, going from there, as far as the mocks, I have no new mocks this time around. I didn't have really that many new mocks at Virginia. I mean, if you count the Expedition Balloon Micro, yeah. Because Virginia was the first show of it, this is the second show, and I'd like to bring it to more, but I want to bring it with the balloon. So, I have to keep that in mind as well. Probably should pack the balloon with it, because I don't know how many other instances I'm going to have it separate. Unless I hang it up in the Lego room, but there's not a lot of hanging space, so yeah, of course. Just put it in. There is room in the Tupperware. And if not, get in, I have other Tupperwares. I can, spread over to, and I will need to for future shows. And I have before. So anyways, what about the other mocks? So the other things I bought 8 mocks. There are some of them I didn't display or didn't bring to the show. But of the ones that I did, I have the Micro Expedition Balloon. I have Big Bird. I have Bart Simpson. I have the baseball field. I have the tennis court. I have Little Shop of Horrors. And I have the Breakfast Club. And I have the Cinderella glass slipper. I think that's 8. I'm picturing in my head what the table looks like, and I'm pretty sure that's all 8 of them. And I'll show a picture in here.
Keep left to stay on Garden State Parkway.
Or there might be a picture in the actual thumbnail, or around social media. I think I already posted about that, of what my table layout is this time. I always do that. It's a record. So those mocks were actually...
Keep left to stay on Garden State Parkway.
I'm already in left lane. So those mocks actually turned out really good. Did not have a lot of damages in travel, were easy to fix.
On Garden State Parkway for 4 miles.
The baseball field is probably the one that had the most damage, but that's not unusual. The way that it's constructed, for some reason, a lot of it pops off of the base plate. Maybe the base plate's a problem, I'm not sure. But also, to be fair, it's either the tennis courts or the baseball field that I put upside down, sandwiching each other inside of the same box. So that might be part of the problem on its own. It's just gravity is pulling it away from it without the travel. But that's easy to fix. That's the thing I know how to fix every time. And luckily it comes off in chunks, so it's even easier to see where those chunks were. Let's see, tennis court only had a couple pieces I had to fix, which wasn't that bad. But again, standard fare of every show, but not anything I can't do. There was a piece missing from Bart Simpson at Brick Fair, Virginia, but he made it intact. And I'm actually surprised about that because normally he does not make it intact. Like, I don't want to say every show, but almost every show that I've been to since he's been displayed, he has a whole bunch of pieces falling off of him because they're a little bit on the loose connection or right on the edge of some other loose pieces. Or there's like a chunk of him that separates like around the neck area. And that's part of the construction, to be fair. That's not completely like, I don't know how else to blame it, but I do think that's also part of the way I constructed him. And, but yeah, this one, no pieces fell off. The hair usually falls off because it's really, like, easy. Again, it's not a rigid, like, jagged connection or anything like that. They're just a couple pieces standing up on top of each other. So this worked out really well. Cinderella glass slipper, also in good shape. Another one that is historically almost every show breaks. I revised it a while ago, and I'm glad that I did because it actually strengthened it. Because I've brought it to a couple shows and just moving boxes around in general, and I have not seen that thing break once, which is great. Big Bird, he was fine too, actually. Like, normally there's like one or two pieces that break off, and it's no big deal. And they're still in the box, so it's easy to fix again. But this time, nothing broke off of him. He normally gets disassembled in a couple chunks, and those chunks are fine. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, like nothing bad happened there. I did have one piece break off of the Expedition balloon. On the back of the balloon, there is a light gray, kind of rocket-looking piece.
Keep left to stay on Garden State Parkway.
Kind of like with 4 fins on it, 1 by 1, round brick with like 4 fins, usually used for rockets or fins of things. I don't know where that piece is. And I don't know if that was also missing at Virginia. I'd have to look at my photos again.
Stay on Garden State Parkway.
Already there. I'd have to look again at my photos to see if that happened at Virginia or if that was, brand new this show.
Continue on Garden State Parkway for 9 miles.
To be fair, I did have some monks that moved around a little bit after I got home from Virginia, so it might have been that. Maybe 1 or 2 that just, shuffled into another box or something. It wasn't in the box that I took them out from, but I'll figure it out sometime later. And it doesn't really affect the model too much. Like, no one's going to look and be like, oh, where's the fin? Nobody's asked that. But it does feel better if I already know it was on there, that I can continue with that. Oh, let's see, what else? Everything else had been good, like easy to fix, easy to build. How about the crowd? How about the show itself? Well, Saturday usually is a bigger show, like for conventions in general. I want to say around 3 o'clock it started dying down, or at least in our area. I mean, to be fair, we are on one side of the convention hall, not in the thick of it, in the very center of it. So maybe we just weren't getting a lot of traffic in our area, but it didn't feel overwhelming. It wasn't constantly, watching people or talking with people to the point of exhaustion. But I did talk with some people that visited, and they took photos of various things that I had built. There was one who had like a younger kid or a younger family member who wanted to take photos because it's inspiring to him. And I had a very nice conversation with these 2 ladies. I even talked about the group, acknowledging, we do this several times, when possible throughout the year. And we have all different kinds of builders, all different realms of it. I mean, I like to explore different things. A few other people, dabble in a couple different areas. And then some of them are also very focused on what they do, but they also do it very well. We had flyers for Garden Slug, and I handed out a few of those for people interested. I also let them know, not just if they want to join our group, but if they wanted to see more of our work on social media. So that was cool. I did have 1 or 2 sig figs go out with my business card. So that was cool on its own, that like people could find me separately on social media to see more of the things that I've built or focusing. That's fun on its own. That does remind me, though, as every convention with that kind of quote-unquote promotion reminds me, I gotta up the social media. I gotta tweak a few things around. And I've done that with a couple videos lately where I'm like reintroducing something as if there's a new crowd of people. So it's like, hey, this has been a long-running thing, but just to let you know, here's the deal. Here's what's going on with it. And then whatever the update is. So it's cool. It's fine. Let's see. A lot of people liked the Little Shop of Horrors vignette, which is a crowd favorite. You know, that doesn't surprise me myself, but I did have one or two people who said that it looked the best. Like building wise, it looked the best. And not gonna lie, they're very right about that. That mock was made in October of 2016, so it's nearly exactly 5 years old. I need to up everything else to that kind of quality, because there are building techniques in there that are fascinating, but I don't use them beyond that stuff, and I should. There are different ways of building, not just the subject matter or the method, like if it's a sculpture or a vignette or whatever, but there's actually the building techniques themselves that some are more simple than others. Like, I could make the sculpture stuff more advanced in their builds, but I'd stick with the straight, putting bricks on top of each other kind of thing. I definitely could improve them, if I really wanted to, from what they are. And I think that was something I will say for one of the other people, one of the two ladies that I spoke with earlier. They did say they liked the simplicity. They liked the sculptures because it was easy to understand what pieces went together and how you could make, you know, something original, something remarkable out of it. So I was like, okay, that's good. I'm glad that works for you. So yeah, a lot of compliments on Big Bird, Bart, but especially Little Shop of Horrors. And I would love to make more stuff that goes beyond that. I've seen tons of building techniques. I know tons of builders that use all different kinds, and I'm fascinated by them as a Lego fan, even though I understand it. But I need to up my game myself. I need to try newer things and ways of building that can make it more, get more out of it. So, I have one project that's going to be a brick fair for New Jersey. I already have parts coming together for it. But that is a whole nother way of building that nobody is going to know. Or, I don't even know if they're even going to compliment it. But yeah, out of system bricks, there's plenty I can do.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 89 for New Jersey 70 East toward Brick.
Yeah, enough. I already know where I am. So anyways, is there anything that I could fix for Sunday? Well, if I can't find the expedition balloon, I'll print out a picture of it. So at least have that nearby at the table instead of having to keep using my phone. And that way people can see what this model is, whether I'm there or not, or if I'm occupied with something else. I also did have to monitor a couple other people's tables while they were away, or they were just busy throughout the day, so that was fine. I had no problems with that. No hands were getting into anything, you know, they didn't need to. So that's fine. You gotta do a little bit if you're gonna be around other displayers to watch their stuff, as they will watch yours. It's like the golden rule of convention displaying. But let's see. Is there anything else I could bring? Well, if I can find my brick badge, I'll bring that tomorrow. I'll tell you that. I did bring the lanyard from Atlanta Brick Co., who had a hole-punched brick separator on it. So I got that with me if I need to use that. And I'm not going to bring any new mocks. Funny enough, Greenberg has been probably the show with the most variety of mocks I've ever displayed with.
The right 2 lanes to take exit 89
like,
for New Jersey 70
there are
East toward Brick.
Like, there are some mocks at that show particularly, at various years, that had mocks exclusively at that venue. Like,
Use
I don't...
the right 2 lanes to take exit 89, then use the middle 2 lanes to keep left.
Like, I don't remember bringing my faux Toys R Us build at any other shows beyond Greenberg. I don't remember if I brought the bumper cars anywhere beyond Greenberg, although I should have, but that all needs to be reworked anyways.
Use the middle 2 lanes to keep left.
I also brought a couple extra materials with me, but I don't know for sure. Like, it's basically stuff for my downtime, which luckily I didn't have too much of, or I spent it better by talking with everyone else at the tables.
In a quarter mile, keep right at the fork.
That's one of the
signs for Lakewood.
That's one of the good things about it, is that we hadn't been at a show as a lug in quite some time. So it gave us a good chance to catch up with each other and still talk about Lego. You know, I enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully that continues into Sunday as well.
Keep right at the fork, then turn right onto Airport Road.
We even shared about, like, with the newer members, you know, getting to introduce each other outside of just the forums and the Zoom calls.
Turn right onto Airport Road.
I
then
know where
turn
to
right
go.
Onto Cedar Bridge Avenue.
Anyways, I'm gonna wrap things up. I'd say
take the next right onto Cedar Bridge Avenue.
There were a few things I could have improved from this show. I don't know if they're gonna get improved or somewhat improved for Sunday. But as it is, it was okay. It wasn't anything exciting, but it got the job done. And that I'm okay with. I mean, I hadn't even talked with other people